magic. I'm Joanna DeVoe, and you're watching another Every Which Way interview. And this time I'm talking to Bethany Frankiewicz of the Soulful Vegan. And Bethany's got all kinds of cool, groovy things to say about Reiki healing and veganism. We even get into feminism a little bit. So stick around and enjoy. Hello, Bethany.
Hi.
Welcome to Every Which Way. And thank you for being my second interview. For those of you who don't know Bethany, she is Bethany Frankiewicz of the Soulful Vegan.
Yep.
I love your website, by the way. It's totally adorable.
Thank you.
And I think I just want to start by asking you about being a vegan, since it's like built right into the name of your business.
Yeah.
When did you become a vegan? Why?
Okay. So when I was 13, I became vegetarian. I just never liked meat, was never drawn to it. And then when I was 19 years old, I moved to the Caribbean, and I did the first half of my nursing clinicals on a third world island, just to get that international experience before I transferred to the U.S.
So you're a nurse.
And I'm finishing up nursing school in Kentucky right now. Okay. I started off in Michigan, then the Caribbean, and now I'm in Kentucky.
Very cool.
But in the Caribbean, the imported food for vegetarians was so expensive. So I met a vegan there. She's really cool. She's actually from Santa Cruz. And we found the cheapest food for us to eat was the food from, the locals. So we started going out and buying the coconut water. They have mango trees that are year-round and just, natural food from the land. So I got addicted to that.
Oh.
But I did it in a good way. Before, I did go cold turkey, but I did research everything before to make sure I knew what fruits and, vegetables had minerals I needed. And like everybody else, where are you going to get your protein? Where are you going to, you're going to die, you're going to starve. I'm like, no. I gained weight.
Oh, you did? Were you doing raw veganism or just veganism?
No, just vegan.
Okay.
Just vegan. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So where do you get your protein?
Where do I get my protein? I love tofu.
Okay.
And I eat a lot of lentil soup. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if people know this, but your fruits and vegetables have natural small amounts, small increments of protein. And I know the ADA says, we need 64 grams of protein, but we really don't. As human, everybody's body type is so different, and whether people realize it or not, you're getting, almost as much as that recommended value, or even more just through the little things you eat, like snacks, the vegetables and fruits. But yeah. I'm a tofu and lentils and vegan boca burgers.
Oh, do you do nuts and seeds as well?
Oh,
like that?
Yes.
Yeah.
But I have to be careful with those because, a handful is really addicting. I'm one that reaches for the bag again and again. I have to hide it.
Yeah, I love the almond butter, especially. That's my thing. I get the organic, only made with almonds, almond butter. I love it.
So good.
And you don't hear too often, I don't even know if I have ever heard of someone that has a protein deficiency, but that does seem to be the number one question when you tell somebody, I'm a vegan. That's the first thing they want to say.
I know.
Where do you get your protein?
That and calcium.
Yeah, and B12, which I think is only available, I know it's in some algae and seaweeds, but I think it's only available in a way that our bodies can assimilate through animal foods. So do you supplement for that?
I do. I have a sublingual B12 vitamin. Mm-hmm. It's for kids because I don't like swallowing pills. But it tastes like cherry, so I might actually have too much B12 in my system right now.
I think it takes 7 years or something for your body to run out of its B12 stores as well. So you're probably in pretty good shape.
People also can get injections into their their butt muscle that will last them a couple years as well. Just from a nursing point, you can do that too.
You remind me so much of Stephanie, the Danish Kodega, because you guys are both.
Her.
I know we both are doing. Isn't she sweet? So are you. Hi, Stephanie.
I know.
You're both doing the, the nursing traditional Western medicine route, but then you have these interests in spirituality, and you're a Reiki healer, and you both are really into alternative medicine. Are you trying to like sneak that in to?
I think I'm really getting really good at sneaking it in, actually. I do put it like on my resume, and I know I like to tell people that, I'm not going to hide it from them because I just love it in the hospital setting. Even like the nurses like that I work with on the night staff, like as soon as they know, I told one nurse, and then all of a sudden this other nurse runs the corner, I'm one too. We're just like doing this with people all night.
Oh,
and,
that's so
it kind of breaks that down, and it makes more people, aware of just alternative relaxation techniques and other ways of healing, which
So for people that don't know, you are a Reiki master?
Oh. Yes, I'm a certified Kundalini Reiki master practitioner.
Where does the Kundalini come in?
The Kundalini just means like the earth energy. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of every life being on earth. So the plants, humans, trees, birds, we all have some kind of energy, some kind of field around us. And Reiki is just making use of those like little networking, that little web between every living thing, and kind of transmitting it from one person or one thing to another. So I don't get depleted when I give Reiki. I'm just facilitating all the other energy in the world towards one person or one thing or one specific intent. So.
Do you focus on, like Kundalini rising and all of that, or is that just, you're just saying that's just a natural part of Reiki because it involves the chakra system and whatnot?
I do think that is a natural part of Reiki. That is how I more or less feel like other people's there's like vibes when they let me is through the chakra system, because I am familiar with it, and that's like kind of my way of perceiving energy, because everybody can feel it differently. Some people are like, my hands are hot, or I feel really lightheaded, and I just kind of feel like energy go to one part of someone's body, which lets me know, this might be the area they need to work on, or something like that.
Oh, neat. So you're not feeling heat, you're just sort of like sensing.
I do. It depends on the person, though, too. I feel heat, tingles. I feel like energy is like a magnet. Like you can't pull them apart, but they don't go together. Like two north poles of like magnets just kind of hover around each other sometimes. It's so different depending on the person.
I don't do Reiki, but just with like energy and work, that's what I feel as well. It's that magnets like pushing each other away. You can just feel that pressure, especially when you do that like little energy ball exercise that all of us spiritual freaks have tried at least one time.
or more than once. Yeah.
I did it on my cats, and they were like, what are you doing, lady? So you have a website where you, separate from Soulful Vegan, called Energy Remedies?
Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm.
And then you give away free Reiki, and you sell Reiki sessions, right?
Yes.
How does that work? Like, how can you do Reiki on me if I'm across the country from you? Like, what happens?
So, remember how I said we're all kind of connected by this spine web? Mm-hmm. From somehow I'm connected to you. So, distance Reiki is all by intent. I intend for this energy. I can ask for it to be guided by your guides, mine, whatever you feel more comfortable with. And all the other person has to do is simply accept it. Accept the energy that's going to them. And, there's a whole bunch of healing, relationships, cleansing your chakras, or like my favorite is just like general healing. So the energy will go to wherever you are ready to let it come into. So it's kind of that just for the highest good of that person.
How do people respond to that? Do they say like, yes, I feel it, or I definitely got something out of that?
The only person I have said never felt anything or they didn't know what's going on is my fiance. And it's so frustrating. So I'm like, do you feel it now? Like every night I'm like, he's just like, yeah, sure, I feel it. Get your hands off me. Or, you're being weird. But
what does he think about it in general? Does he think... Like, what does he think about, like, your love of crystals and talking about chakra systems and all the Reiki? Like, does he embrace it? Does he believe in that stuff, too?
He embraces me. So whatever I want, whatever I love, whatever I want to do, he will embrace that. He doesn't get it, for Christmas he gets me chakra or crystals and books, and I can like stay in bookstores and read for 6 hours and then be like, oh, I'm hungry, it's time to go home. But I think I'm more of like a restless person. Like my soul's always restless. I want to know, I want to read, I want to figure things out. And where he is completely grounded, it's not a bad thing. It's a beautiful thing, but he's so not compelled to same things I am. He's just so steady, and that's weird. Yeah. Or wise,
You guys are probably the perfect balance for each other.
Sometimes it's frustrating, but I think every relationship has that. Yep. Why do you do that? Okay, well, you just kind of...
He's a good man for buying you the goodies at Christmas, the crystals and all of that.
He's good.
And since this show and my website is all about like being a kick-ass woman, one of the things that you did that I think is so kick-ass you have to talk about, and that is, you say you proposed to your fiancé?
I did.
Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I would love to. I love talking about him. Well, I met him in the Caribbean. I was there for school, and he went there on vacation to visit one of my close friends. They live in Palo Alto-ish area, so between Santa Cruz and San Francisco. And so he comes down. I did not like him at first. He's that dude like, oh, beer, football, hey, ladies. I was like, oh, my God. Debbie, I'm going to kill you. But I don't know, somehow we hit it off, and, once, like, everybody else left, we just kind of got talking, and I don't know, we formed a little clicking relationship there, and we kept in contact, because I was there for 12 months, and I only came back for Christmas, and then I was there for 8 months, and didn't come back till I had to stay. So we went to Chicago. I snuck on a train from my parents' house in Cleveland, and went to Chicago, and he hopped on a plane, and we went on this Ferris wheel when we were there. It was freezing cold, it was the middle of winter. So 2 years later, after we've been, dating and official and taking long-distance flights every 3 weeks in the U.S.
Oh, wow, that's expensive.
My sister, like I said, I'm trying to work so I can get to California. My sister and my cousin live there now. So I invited him out before Christmas, and it was 2 years to the date that we met up and went on that Ferris wheel. So I knew if I mentioned, like, the Navy Pier in Chicago, he'd be like, oh, let's go on the Ferris wheel. So we got there, and of course, let's go on the Ferris wheel. So we did. And I had, like I said, he's a football guy. So he's obsessed with the Oakland Raiders and the Chicago Bears. So I had a Chicago Bear jersey made since we were in Chicago. And on the back, I had Marry Me instead of, like, a name or anything like that. So it's middle of winter, I'm, like, freezing, taking off my clothes. And he's like, what are you doing? So I gave him the box to hold, but he just kind of went white and couldn't speak. But it was really fun.
And he said yes.
Yeah, he did.
I love that. I love the whole, like, switching the role thing and taking control of your own life and being like, I want this, instead of, like, waiting around and wondering, Yeah. It's beautiful.
I love our balance. I feel like, not that he's like the typical chick, but he's like, I just want you to marry me. I just want your love. Wherever you can get a job, I'll move for you. And I think that's like a new age kind of chivalry, like letting the woman, form herself, become independent, and, respecting that boundary, but still being totally involved in someone's life. So
that's so sweet. And you say you're a feminist on your website as well. Like, what does that mean? And is it still relevant, like, in today's day and age? Like, I'm very curious about what you think about that.
Well, I'm the youngest of 3 daughters, and, my dad always taught us not to take crap. We can be just as good as any man in the work field. If you're not getting paid, you fight to get paid the same amount. Women are just as smart, intelligent. Boys are, he never liked boys, never bring those, bring home boys unless you want to get the eye. So, in that sense, I fight for, I hate when people stereotype women. That's my biggest thing, I think, is trying to break stereotypes. And
like, your dad taught you how to be a strong woman? Like, that's so cool. Mm-hmm. Your dad.
My dad.
I love that. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know, it's just interesting to me just to hear someone say I'm a feminist, because I know today people either hate that word or it just makes them squirm. They're like, I mean, I have like feminist beliefs, but like I totally love men. Like it has to be justified to say it, and I just thought it was cool that you put it out there straight up.
Well, I mean, I think everybody in some ways is a feminist. Like, you know, common courtesy, humanity. You know, everybody should be treated the same, good and bad, and so.
I guess maybe we should have like a masculinist or something. Balance things out.
I could be a masculinist. I mean, I think men and women should be equally thought of in the highest regard, you know.
Definitely. But. And like anti-woman is anti-men too. Like all the weird stuff that was going on in the 50s, that was as much of a disservice to men as it was to women. So it's good to see the balance. And I'm going to read something too. I'm kind of taking a leap here, but I have this written down. Your tagline for Soulful Vegan is connecting the conscious community with their food, their spirits, and each other. And I guess the feminist thing reminded me a little bit of how you're working spirituality into everything, your job and the way you eat. And how do you see food and spirituality going together?
Remember I said, like, everything has a life force.
Mm-hmm.
So when we eat plants that are living, I'm not saying animals that we kill and slaughter and then we eat them. It's different when you're eating, you know, something that naturally grew in this earth. Like the earth provides everything that we need. So when I eat something that's vibrant and beautiful, and I know, I research my food before I eat it, so I know what it's doing in my body, every function, what minerals and vitamins and how that functions in me. I just think it is a beautiful thing, and I'm so at peace eating food. And I can see people like eat too much and I feel guilty. I'm like, bring it on, let's, you know, do more. I know what it's doing in my body. This is great. And so veganism ultimately led me to, I was once a very devout Catholic, and I appreciate the Catholic faith, and my whole family's Catholic, but, you know, that led me on to, I can live off the earth, and I love the earth more than anything. So, I don't know.
Do you feel like eating clean or organic or vegan or however you eat, do you think that makes you more receptive to love, God, spirituality, all that?
I think it makes you, so eating plants makes you grounded in a way. You know, you can learn so much just by your food and eating it, and it does make me feel a lot more cleaner. I don't feel heavy when I eat. Even in terms of like energy, the more water I drink when I do Reiki, like I feel the energy flow better just because like the water is hydrating my cells, and every cell has a vibration.
That totally makes sense because water's a conductor as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, where can people, I will definitely link on my blog to both of your websites, but you just want to tell them for people listening where each of them are located?
Right. The Soulful Vegan's on Blogspot.
Okay.
So it's the soulfulvegan.blogspot.com. And then the Energy Remedy store is on Midu. So it's energyremedy.miiduu.com.
Okay. Well, I will link to both so people don't have to memorize it. But and then also I just want to mention that you do the really adorable chakra paintings. They're so cute. I want to copy you just for my own house because I love the little square ones you did of the entire, all 7 of them. Like, I think that's so cute. But you sell those too, right now?
Yeah, I just kind of started doing them, and my friend was like, can you do one for my heart chakra so I can just put it next to my bed? I was like, yeah, I can do that, totally.
Oh, dang, I was trying to wrap this up, but that just reminded me of one more thing I wanted to ask you. You talk about the heart chakra being the largest chakra, which I've never heard anybody say before, and I thought that was really interesting. And can you expand on that a little bit before I put words in your mouth? I would love to. I'll
try and make it quick.
Okay.
We have some other chakras, like in our hands, our energy centers, that when you make that little ball of energy, you can you feel it more so. I feel like the heart chakra, since it's pretty much portrayed in every aspect of every other chakra. Your security, that's your job, your finances, and your body. You need to love all of those in order for that to ground itself. You know, your relationships, or your sacral chakra, so that's your sex, your relationship, and your emotion. you need to love your relationships and love your passionate partner. And, you know, love is in every single chakra. You need to love your higher power. You need to love what you do. You need to love what you say and how you express yourself. You need to love what you're thinking. So in that sense, I feel like our heart chakra is the largest. And, you know, I've heard other people say that, but I feel like it's their first impression of people. Like, you can just tell if they love what they're doing and saying, then you're like, good heart chakra. I like that one.
Yeah.
So,
and you talked about walking into a room and, like, feeling the energy that whatever people are putting out, I guess, through their heart chakra. I thought that was so neat. I loved that. Thank you. You are a kick-ass woman. I'm super honored to have you on my little Skypey show.
I appreciate it. I am so excited.
Yay. Oh, thank you, Bethany. Much love, Soulful Vegan.
Bye, guys. Bye, Joanna.